Om Shanti. Happy Independence Day to all Indians that lives across the globe. Though we proudly celebrate this 75th Independence Day by changing the DP of our social media accounts into the national flag and by hoisting the national flag in each house of India, are we really independent? What is the symptom of being independent? What are we independent from? So, independence always means that we are independent of sorrow and pain. So, going by this definition, are we truly independent? So, the symptom of being independent is to experience happiness and blissfulness. It is not to experience happiness only on the day of independence, but we need to experience it throughout the year. So be honest and say if you are truly independent. Mahatma Gandhi was able to unite all Indians to drive away the British. But who actually benefited from that independence? This freedom gives political mileage to all the politicians in spreading negativity among people and to make them protest against every single measure taken by the government. And what kind of change do people experience 75 years after independence? Well, they are now more anger, they have more anger, they are more jealous, they are more attached to many things, they are more egoistic, and they are more lustful compared to what they were 75 years before. They suffer under the clutches of these five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego than before. They are imprisoned by these five vices, which is the root cause for all the sufferings and sorrow they endure on daily basis. Now, who is going to free the people from these five vices? Even religions fail to do that. People of all religions pray to God to keep them happy. But that is not going to happen unless they are free from these five vices. They can't even achieve success in anything until they get out of the imprisonment of these five vices. God comes 100 years before the destruction of this Kali Yuga, and He frees us from all sorts of sorrow by enabling us to conquer those five vices. God says it is because we consider ourselves to be this perishable body that we become addicted to these five vices and sensual pleasures, which in turn causes so much sorrow. In order to be free from all sorts of sorrow, one needs to come out of this body consciousness by considering ourselves to be the soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus have this habit of wearing tilak in between the eyebrows. It is actually this soul that sees through the eyes, that listens through the ears, that speaks through the mouth, and performs every single action through this body. So the soul is entirely different from this body. And you are souls that operate this body. If you are conscious of this, that is, if you are soul conscious, then only it is possible for you to be free from all sorrow and be happy forever. And that is the single reason God has come to this earth. God originally created this earth without any form of sorrow or pain, because He created human beings free of these five vices 5,000 years back. That is why the world was heaven. And specifically, India was heaven. That is why we worship 33 million deities who were the actual residents of heaven. where have they gone now? They haven't gone anywhere else. After taking several rebirths, they come to hell as normal human beings. They have no idea that they were deities in the past, and they were none but you and me. It is because they were soul conscious. Though they were very beautiful, they have no lust for each other, and they were soul conscious. They were constantly aware that they were souls. It is the souls that sees through the eyes. So they consider themselves to be souls, and they consider everybody else to be souls. So since their awareness is on the soul and not on this body, they were not addicted to the sensual pleasures. Though the world was very beautiful, and they were very rich, and they were very healthy, so they have no idea what suffering is. They were ever blissful. The reason is, since they were soul conscious, the true nature of the soul itself is blissfulness. So they were able to live happily for the first 2500 years when India was heaven. After that, they slowly become body conscious. They forget that they were souls. As a result, they slowly become addicted to the sensual pleasures. Thereby, they were under the clutches of these five vices: lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego, which was collectively called as Satan or Maya or Ravan. So under the influence of these five vices, we start committing sin after sin, and it is because of the accumulation of sins over a period of time that we start experience punishment in the form of diseases and natural calamities and conflict between relationships and war between nations. So this is why the last 500 years is called hell. So God says you were truly free in the beginning while you were soul conscious. Because you are body conscious now, you become imprisoned by these five vices, which causes you more and more sorrow daily. If you are able to drive out these five vices from your mind by becoming soul conscious again, then no matter what happens around you, nothing will make you feel sorrow. You will be blissful throughout your life, because blissfulness is the true nature of the soul. But how do you do that? Because we were so addicted to these five vices for the past 2500 years, it is not going to be so easy to drive out those five vices from our mind. So that is the main reason God comes from his supreme abode, which is called Parandam or Parlok, or the soul world. It's a golden red colored light world. So that is where we souls, before taking birth on this earth, resided along with God. God is also a soul, which is why he is called the Supreme Soul. In the last 100 years before the destruction of this world, God enters an old man's body, and he names him Brahma and gives these divine teachings through his mouth, which is called Murli, which is available absolutely free of cost in all Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga meditation centers. So we need to read Murli daily, and also we need to practice soul consciousness, and also we need to connect our mind to the Supreme Soul, who is called God Shiva by Hindus, and Heavenly God Father by Christians, and Allah by Muslims. God is one, and he doesn't enter the birth and death cycle like us. He doesn't take birth as a kid. So the more you remember God as a point of light after considering yourselves to be the soul, you will find yourself getting free from the influence of these five vices and worldly attractions. And you will eventually start experiencing the true nature of soul, which is blissfulness and peacefulness. So by becoming fully soul conscious and by conquering these five vices fully, Not only you will stay happy throughout, but also since your mind is free from these worldly attractions, you will be able to concentrate on anything you want, thereby achieve success very easily and very rapidly. So that is the true independence. Only God can grant you true independence. So all we need to do is to remember God as a point of light and listen to His teachings daily, and keep your mind busy with the churning of that knowledge throughout the day. So that is the only way to drive all those five vices out of your mind permanently. So after the destruction of this world which is called Kali Yuga, the world will be converted back to the new world Satyug, the heaven, where there will be absolutely no traces of these five vices, so that you will stay happy throughout the next 2500 years. As our Prime Minister Modi ji has requested people of India to dedicate the next 25 years for the growth of our nation, it is only by spreading this godly knowledge to not only Indians but to all brothers and sisters across the world that we will be able to establish heaven on earth. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. Happy Independence Day again.